Well, let's talk about the election itself now. Mitch, maybe you want to tell us a little bit about the voting, how they could vote now if they're not available the 8th, or what is going to be the process to cast their ballot for this election.
You know, as of right now, we do have our office open. The business office is open just during regular business hours, as in any election. We do extend our hours a little bit. In the evenings on Tuesday through Thursday, we go till 5:30. We've had 148 as of this morning have currently came in and voted for many reasons. We do have enough set up in place for that. When the ballots are cast, they're just sealed. You seal them into an envelope, and we'll put them into a locked box until Election Day, and we deliver them to the precinct, and then the election workers will open and count at that time. We still have by mail. It turns around pretty fast. There's an application if you'd like to absentee vote by mail. You can print out from our website or from the Secretary of State's website, or if you contact us, we can send it out. And you send that back, and we can send out an absentee ballot to you. And we've had quite a few requests with that with students, college students that are away in that. That's kind of the two main processes we have out there.
And on Election Day, where can people go to vote?
Okay, on Election Day, we'll be in the City Armory. We start 7 a.m., go to 7 p.m. We have 4 wards, we have four stations set up. The 3 wards, but Ward 1 will split into 2 different groups for ease of voting. Our election workers have done this in the past for us, and it's a great group, and so they'll be very proficient in getting the votes taken and serving the community.
But our main message, and we've heard it through all of you, is to go and vote, regardless of what your stand is on it. It's a right to be able to vote on something like this, and you guys would like to see the turnout be a little better than I think you said the Harrisburg one was 12% or something like that. You speak to that a little bit, I guess, as far as,
right.
We want a cross-section of the voters to turn out for this project.
Well, we as Americans have to practice our government, so to speak, if we expect to keep it the way it is, our freedoms. And voting is the premise, the foundation of what we're all about as American and a democratic society, in my opinion. And if we start not voting on a regular basis over a long period of time, then what kind of representative government is that? And it isn't very good. So we need to continue to go to the polls, and we have to go at a higher rate. Now, I'm not pointing at any community or any specific school district or anything. It's an issue across the entire United States. But I can't imagine spending $14.5 million and not being involved in whether I think that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not built that way, and that's me personally. And I would like to think that more people would like to do that. And we provide the early voting opportunity today more readily available today than ever. My father used to be on that voting committee or whatever they call it, and he would go every November. He'd have to leave the cornfield, so to speak, and he'd enjoy doing that. He'd park the picker and do that because that was his service to the community in that manner. And it is so important to be a participant in your local government. And I'm really glad that our government class is listening, and I hope that a lot of others are listening and that they now think that they will go to the polls. We actually have reports from the county auditor about the voting statistics. And a lot of people probably don't know this, but there's a list of people who have voted, and there is also a list who have not voted, and they are registered. And those are open to the public. Those are transparent documents. They're available for anyone who asks for them. And so if I don't vote, Charlie can look it up and see. And I wouldn't want Charlie to know if I hadn't voted. And I certainly don't want Charlie to know how I voted. But the point is,
we can't find that.
The point is, do not give up your citizenship, so to speak, or your civic responsibility by not voting. Yeah. Be heard.
Yeah, it's definitely a responsibility, and many young women have fought and died for this right, for us to exercise this right to vote. And the least we can do is take 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes out of our day to exercise that right. And, you know, the $14.5 million project is a very important project. And so, you know, it's best to be decided by a very broad, large cross-section of the entire community. It's going to be a commitment for 20 years, and so we want to make sure that people are aware of it and get out and vote and make your voice known through your vote.
And one last point on that would be the fact that in South Dakota, it's a requirement that if school districts are going to have this kind of a project, 60% of the votes cast have to support the project or it fails. So, I mean, you could have a 50% or 59.9%, and it's going to fail. You have to have 60% of the voters in supporting it or greater, or it will fail.
Right, because sometimes you've even seen them where, you know, there may be more votes there, but it's not the percentage.
That's right. It's the percent that counts.
So it comes down to the percentage of those votes that...
we have roughly 7,000 registered voters in our school district. And so to get 1,500 voters is not good enough. We need, you know, 3,000, 4,000 to be even somewhat satisfied.
Now, as far, we'll kind of wrap this up a little bit. If people want more information, there are some options they have as far as if they want to do a little more study. So there's a calculator available, Mitch, that's out there. Maybe let's touch a little bit on that. What other avenues do people have, I guess, to find out some more information if they need it here before Election Day?
Okay, we do. You know, we went through our website. Try to keep it concise, but try to put as much into it as we could. There's a lot of different links off it, the floor plans, some renderings of drawings of how it may look, the different projects or the different pieces of the project. We have on there how to early vote, many different aspects, when the office hours are open, phone numbers to call at the school if questions along that. We try to put as much out there as, there's a frequent asked questions out there also. Try to put as much on there as we could for our district patrons.
And any questions, they can contact the school itself too, the business office, talk to
definitely, yeah.
Anybody from there that could help them out with the information that they need for.
Yeah, and we've had a number of calls and questions come in, and yeah, we're more than happy to discuss with anyone.
Okay. Final comments, I guess we'll just kind of go around here. Charlie, if you want to start, any final comments on the project or the voting or anything in general here today?
Well, I think that the voters it's kind of your turn now to come out and vote, make your voice known. I think that we relayed a lot of information here today. You know, you have a choice to do something for your community, yes or no, and now's your opportunity to exercise your right to vote. Personally, working with a committee has been a healthy experience, and when I first came on, I think probably I was the only one that voted no back last February 1st, but you know, I think that the process worked. We came up with a new and better plan. Whether or not it's a good enough plan, again, that'll be decided next Tuesday. But anyhow, people, if you have any doubts or any questions, you know, get more information, make your decision, and make sure you exercise your right to vote. It is a major commitment, and we'll go forth from there. So, thank you.
Mitch?
We've put a lot of time into this plan, and we've tried to make it the best possible we could with what we had, and I'm excited about the process of this. Elections are always kind of exciting in nature, and so it'll be fun to see how this outcomes and the support, or if we should go to the drawing board somewhere else. So just get out, vote, let us know, and we appreciate it.
As Superintendent, I think it's an opportunity here to thank the Facilities Committee that what Charlie was referring to, the committee of 9, and 3 of those were people off from the parameters of the public, general public, and Charlie from the rural area. And not only that, but we had a number of people that attended a variety of those meetings, of which there were several meetings, and some of these people were at most all of those meetings, and some were even bold enough to speak at those meetings. And that was good because it gave community input, and it actually probably helped us move our decision to the point of this creative way of financing, so to speak, between general obligation bonds and capital outlay. And I think that's a very good process. And so I thank people for getting involved. And also, our school board is very serious about this, and they are the elected group of leaders on this and in our school and all school activities and events. But we we oftentimes forget the school board, and they take a lot of heat and get very little credit for the work they do, and they're pretty much, you might say, volunteer tenure as board members. So as superintendent, I've learned to respect boards of education over the years, and this group that we have, 7 school board members, do a real fine job of bringing the needs and wants and concerns of the district forward. And we stand together as community, all of us, and have an opportunity to go to the polls next week, and we'll be talking about this on Wednesday next week.
Well, thank you, Superintendent Vince Schaefer, our business manager Mitch Brooks, and Charlie Johnson from that served on the committee and also a member of the Madison Central School District. We want to thank all 3 of you for coming in today and helping out with our program, informing our listeners and voters about this, as you mentioned, very important project for the community as a whole.